HCAM TV thanks you for watching this presentation. We'd love for you to become a member and use your creativity at our station. Please visit hinghammedia.org or call us at 781-836-5094 if you'd like to learn more.
Well, I want to welcome everyone here today. Isn't this great? Let's give the South Shore Country Club and Raphael's a big hand. They do this every year and they are so accommodating. I mean, if you have a shower or an event or something, be sure to consider them because they're a great community resource. Well, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Mary Ford, and thank you. I've become synonymous with a lot of things, but Mary Ford is actually one word. I've learned that the hard way. I'm not Mary, I'm not Ford, I'm Mary Ford. Mary Ford, yes, Mary Ford that. Okay. But as editor of the Hingham Journal, it's my pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon for a special occasion to honor our Eileen McCracken as Citizen of the Year. I extend a special welcome to Eileen, her husband Bob, who's one of the best looking Marines around. Yeah. I've had a crush on him for years, I will say. I know, well, it seemed like it was the right time. Okay, and I'd like to welcome all the members of Bob and Eileen's family who are here today. I know there's a bunch, I won't try to introduce everybody, but thank you for coming. Also joining us today is our new rep, Joan Machino. Joan, give a wave. Our state senator, Patrick O'Connor. Patrick's here. Raven, okay. And we have the full Board of Selectmen who are separated, so there's no violation of the open meeting law. We have Paul Healy, Mary Power, and Paul Gannon. And we know that Paul Gannon isn't running for re-election, so let's give him a hand for being a good selectman, and we wish him well on his endeavors. I think I saw Dot Gallo, our superintendent. Dot, okay, Dot's here. Mike Puzo, our moderator. I don't know if Mike made it. I know he has a really busy day tomorrow. Police Chief Glenn Olson. Glenn? Okay. How about Fire Chief Bob Olson? Nope? Okay, where is he? Okay. I hope I haven't left out any other important town officials. If there are some important ones I left out, raise your hand. And we'll all laugh. Okay. I'd also like to introduce some members of my team here at the Hingham Journal. Our editor-in-chief, Greg Mathis, is here. Be sure to tell him how much you like the paper, et cetera, et cetera. Our photographer, Alyssa Stone. You've seen Alyssa's photos. She's wonderful and talented, and she's here. Our account executive, Claudia Oliver. An account executive is a fancy word for she sells the ads, so we can get paid. And a lot of you know my husband, Conley Ford. He's been my big supporter all these many years, and where is he? Okay, there he is. All right. The Journal would also like to thank the management and staff of a truly community-spirited business, Raphael's, at the South Shore Country Club, for partnering with us again in this wonderful endeavor and for generously and deliciously hosting the event. So another big round for Raphael. Of my many duties at the Hingham Journal, hosting Citizen of the Year is one of my favorites. Today you will hear from me and several other speakers before we present Eileen with the Citizen of the Year award. Here at the Journal, we are pleased to continue a wonderful tradition we started 31 years ago by using your community newspaper as the means to recognize those among us who go that extra mile to make the town we all love a better place. So before we get underway, I'd like to recognize any of the prior year citizens who are here today. And I'm not sure if Ellen Harvey or Bob Garrity are here from the Country Club Committee. I'll just kind of go through the list. Tom O'Donnell, I think I saw him. Tom, let's have a hand. Edna English is here. I know I saw Edna. Tom Carey, I don't know if Tom is here. Is he? People were applauding whether he's here or not. Okay, Tom, all right. Camilla's here, Camilla Roundtree. So nice to see Camilla. I don't know if Avis and Tom Studley are here. They were invited. Alec McMillan, nope. Ann Collins, I think, is here. Ann, let's get a big round for Ann. She's looking younger and more beautiful than ever, right? You. And at her table is Ginny Gray, one of our citizens. Scott McMillan. Scott, I don't know if he's here. Out of town. Okay, Jerry Duff is here. There she is. She was giving Eileen a lecture and said, now you can't drink, smoke, or have ice cream for a year. And the ice cream doesn't have anything to do with drinking or smoking. It's because you have to talk to people, and by the time you finish your ice cream, it's melted. So that's where she comes from. I'd like to take a moment to share with you our Citizen of the Year selection process. In January, the Journal asked for nominations for Citizen of the Year through a story, a notice in the paper, and online. Nearly every day until nominations closed 6 weeks later, I opened letters and emails nominating local citizens sent in by local citizens. The nominees all have one thing in common: a love for Hingham and a desire to serve the community. Once the nominations close, a selection committee has the task of poring over the nominations and making a decision. It's Eileen's tireless commitment to her job, always handling her duties with grace and determination, that led to her selection as the Hingham Journal Citizen of the Year. Eileen is the 31st recipient of the award that endeavors to recognize, thank, and honor those who make the quiet, generous contributions that make Hingham a great place to call home. This year, I'd like to thank Martha Buick, Vicki Donlin, and Jerry Duff for joining me at the Journal office to help with the selection process. And I especially thank Meg Robbins, whose heartfelt note set the tone for selecting Eileen for this year's award. So Meg, raise your hand, and she's responsible for this. I'd like to take a moment to read from our story, which I think sums up the love and appreciation that so many of us have for Eileen. There is little doubt that the 2016 election year, with 6 elections in the 3rd Plymouth District, that includes Hingham, and early voting for the general election, could test the nerves of any town clerk anywhere. But thankfully, here in Hingham in 2016, under the quiet and patient leadership of our longtime town clerk, Eileen McCracken, election day after election day, 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 came and went without a glitch. All 6 of us. While handling the elections with the help of her team at the town clerk's office is perhaps the most visible of her roles, it's just one of many of Eileen's duties. Eileen may be one of the first government officials that a newcomer meets when moving to Hingham, whether registering to vote, obtaining a marriage license, or obtaining a dog license and/or permit, depending on what happens tomorrow at town meeting. She's going to have a whole new thing to do. There are people that don't know dogs are going to actually have photos taken And they're going to be registered at the town clerk in order to walk them off leash. That's part of the plan. It's a long story, but anyway. It's another duty for Eileen. When we asked our selectman chairman for his thoughts on Eileen, Paul Healy said, Eileen is one of the best goodwill ambassadors, and we are lucky to have her. She is always kind, extraordinarily helpful, and has the best interests of the town in all that she does. She enjoys camaraderie with her fellow co-workers that is obvious to even the most casual observer. Vicki Donlin, who sat on this year's selection committee, said, no matter the time of day or reason one stops into the town clerk's office, Eileen is there to help with a smile on her face and a tone that lets one know she is happy to help above and beyond with anything Hingham. I am a big fan, as I know her job is not easy or without stress, but Eileen is never flustered or in a rush, just ready to serve the public. Meg Robbins, who nominated Eileen, said in her nomination, her knowledge and understanding of Hingham's laws and issues, its complex calendars, her patience and skill in overseeing varied responsibilities and operations is legendary. As a volunteer working with Eileen during town, state, and federal elections, one can see her attention to detail, witness her seriousness of task, and sense the joy she feels in successfully fulfilling her obligations and working with people. Eileen is a natural leader and organizer and is always ready to go the extra mile to help. She is loved, admired, and respected by the people of Hingham for her integrity, constantly good demeanor, her ability to maintain confidences, her insightful advice when asked, her ready sense of humor, and the smile that greets us as we walk in her office door at Town Hall. How lucky are we? We're very lucky. Eileen's good friend and co-worker, senior clerk Liz McVarish, sent a lovely email message to us after we announced Eileen was Citizen of the Year. And Liz wrote, I have had the privilege of working alongside Eileen over the past 18 years, and as she's gracefully and professionally handled the numerous duties of the town clerk's office, which seem to be constantly evolving. Whether dealing with co-workers, elected officials, various board and committee members, or the citizens of Hingham, she is always patient, kind, and most importantly, helpful. Eileen goes above and beyond what is required for each and every person who comes in contact with the office, and they are always treated with the utmost respect. On the rare occasion when she is away from the office, one of our favorite sayings is WWED. What would Eileen do? While handling the daily chores at the town clerk's office or implementing new programs, such as the recently enacted early voting legislation, she is one of the first to arrive at Town Hall and rarely takes time off. She truly loves her job and her hometown and is well deserving of this honor. Thanks, Liz. We totally agree. With this award, the Hingham Journal offers recognition for making a difference. In our society, too many role models go unrecognized. Too often people today look to the sports, rock, or movie stars with envy, when the real hero is the local police officer, firefighter, parent, teacher, business person, church leader, caregiver, veteran, volunteer, or government official. The annual Citizen of the Year Award is our way of taking our hats off to those among us who go that extra mile without asking for anything in return but the intrinsic reward of helping to make Hingham a better place. So we're very happy to be able to honor Eileen this afternoon. So now I'm going to introduce our new state rep, Joan Machino, who is going to make a little presentation. Here she is. Talk right into the mic, just so people can hear you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary Ford, for having me here. It's funny, we do actually say that all the time. Oh, we got to call Mary Ford.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but really, in sincerity, thank you for including me today as your newest state rep. I can tell you, having put myself out there on the election campaign 4 times, I was 4 of the 6 elections, and let me just stop and pause and tell you, if the write-in campaign that I ran didn't throw her over the edge, trust me, she can handle anything. But I was pleased to be able to come, and I have a little citation from the House of Representatives for you. But I did want to just add, you were talking about role models, and what I was thinking was that what you don't know is that she's so experienced, and the expertise and the confident leadership. Hull recently lost our town clerk, Mrs. Bennett, after like 50 years of service, passed away, and our new, our then assistant town clerk was brand new, and to face 6 elections and we had a recount, we had the write-in, and we had the early voting, and to be so brand new, no one would have ever questioned Mrs. Bennett. That was just the way it was, and I'm sure that's the way it is here too. But with the new town clerk, everyone was like, well, what would Mrs. Bennett do? So in fact, in Hull, it's now, what would Eileen do? And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts in Hull for being such a wonderful mentor beyond the boundaries of Hingham as well. So you've been a great role model, and to know that there's fairness in government and that you can rely on the work that's done is actually really gratifying. So we have from the, come on up, Eileen. So from the House of Representatives to Eileen McCracken, in recognition of being chosen the Hingham Citizen of the Year and for your tireless dedication to your town and your community, the entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses hope for the future, good fortune, and continued success. Signed this day, the 23rd of April, 2017, and it's signed by the Speaker of the House, Robert DeLeo, and myself as your new state rep.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Now I'd like to welcome our state senator, Patrick O'Connor. Pat.
Thanks, Mary. Good afternoon, everybody. I think that this is such a beautiful backdrop and beautiful day to recognize a beautiful member of our community. Honestly, I think it's so fitting that when you walk into Hingham Town Hall, the first door on your left, the first door you see is yours, because I think that you really exemplify everything that Hingham is. You're passionate about your job, you're a leader in this community, and you're completely, fair and balanced with everything, your approach to how you take your job. And being a small part of the nearly 2 decades that you've been a part of the Hingham community, by being in 4 of those elections that you ran, I can attest to the incredible level of professionalism that you hold to this town, to the job, and to your office. And my predecessor, I actually was with him today throwing out a first pitch at a Little League baseball game today, and I told him that we were coming here today. I know his sister Heather's here, but Mayor Headland wanted me to express his deepest appreciation for the friendship that you've had, not only during your time as town clerk, but even before with your family. So he wanted me to be here today to extend that. And with that said, in addition to the House of Representatives, the Massachusetts State Senate, please come forward, Eileen. Wanted to give you a recognition. We had this read into the record, and be it known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its congratulations to Eileen McCracken in recognition of being honored as Hingham Journal's Citizen of the Year and for your outstanding leadership as Hingham's town clerk. And be it further known that we wish you nothing but the best of luck and best of luck for continued success in all you do in the future. Eileen, congratulations. Well deserved.
Next up is our Selectman Chairman, Paul Haley. Paul, your turn.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Where's Mary Ford? Eileen McCracken is the only reason I'm here today. I have to say this is a beautiful day to get a lot of chores done out there. But Eileen is a special person, and I say that sincerely. I had the privilege of working with her older brother for many years. And in that relationship, I met Eileen working over at Town Hall. And I've followed her as a citizen who's lived in this town, living my own life, seeing her living hers. And I've grown to genuinely like and admire her. And the fact that there are so many people that work in the Town Hall present here today to join and celebrate this speaks to the woman that we're honoring. I echo everything that's been said, but more fundamentally, in the role that I'm in now, she brings a great relief to me because I know that things are being done right down there. And that's huge. You know, effective and efficient government isn't just the work of one or two people. It's a team effort. And there are so many good people in this room that contribute to that result. And that, as a citizen of this town and as someone serving it, I am truly grateful that Eileen McCracken is on that team. That means a great deal to me. And the quiet dignity, the discretion that she brings to this job, to this service, to our community, is something that it's going to be a very hard act to follow. So I have a proclamation too.
This ought to be good.
Esther said I should bring my glasses, but I'm going to try to do this without it.
I'll help you.
Okay.
If you can't do it.
Whereas Eileen McCracken presided over 6 flawless elections, including a presidential election in 2016 as the Hingham Town Clerk. And whereas Eileen McCracken successfully introduced early voting to the town of Hingham. And whereas, as the town clerk, Eileen McCracken is often the first point of contact a newcomer will have with the town of Hingham. She is always kind and helpful. And whereas, as the town clerk, Eileen McCracken always has the town of Hingham's best interests at heart. And whereas Eileen McCracken is the consummate professional who has an unparalleled depth and breadth of knowledge of the town of Hingham. Yeah! Is always available, organized, and friendly. Friendly's big.
Yeah.
Whereas Eileen McCracken brings a life of vibrancy to the town hall that always buoys the spirits of all who work and visit there. Now, therefore, the Board of Selectmen declare Eileen McCracken to be the Town of Hingham's Citizen of the Year for 2016. Signed, Paul Healy, Paul Gannon, and Mary Power.
Eileen's sister Barbara is now going to come up and share some anecdotal things about Eileen. Maybe we don't know.
Oh boy, this ought to be good. Hi, I don't have a proclamation, I'm sorry. I'm Barbara. I'm the youngest of the original McCrackens. I was asked to say a few words as Eileen is recognized today as Hingham's Citizen of the Year. Eileen was born in Boston, and when we moved to Hingham, she was 8. She attended Hingham schools and graduated from Hingham High School in 1966. So that's done with the part that sounds like a eulogy. As we grew up, Eileen and I spent a lot of time together. One of my earliest memories of her is riding bikes to swimming lessons at the bathing beach, and we had to pedal really hard and put our feet up on our handlebars to avoid the dog on Cottage Street that chased us every single day. Like a lot of us, she's had lots of life's adventures. She followed Mom's lead into banking and worked downtown. She spent several years working at the credit union and then made the move to the treasurer collector's office, helping everyone with a smile and a kind word while taking their tax checks. When she learned the town clerk's job was going to open up, she decided to dip her toe into the deep waters of campaigning. Green signs asking you to vote for McCracken showed up around the town, and of course, at the dump. After a long campaign, she won. Since the day she was sworn in, she has given 100% of her time and her heart to her job and the town she loves. I have seen Eileen work tirelessly preparing for elections, helped grieving families retrieve documents after losing a loved one, and she's met nervous couples when the town hall was closed to help them get their marriage licenses on time. Eileen is caring and compassionate, helping at her church, working for veterans causes, and always making sure that the youngest town residents get a sticker and a smile from Leanie the Clown. I am proud to call Eileen my sister, and more importantly, my friend. I know if our parents were still here, they would be so pleased and proud of our Citizen of the Year. As we celebrate Eileen, I'd like to mention, I've heard someone say that Eileen has Hingham in her heart, but I believe she is the heart of Hingham. Thank you.
Now we have that handsome Marine to come up here and make a few remarks. My heart is
Thank you. Boy, that's a tough act to follow.
I've been around Mike's before. I know it. Mike's, Tom's, Fred's. I want to thank everybody, and you've heard all of these great accolades about my lovely and charming wife, and guys, I know what you're thinking. She's really married to this guy? But I want to tell you the rest of the story. How all this happened. No, not this. This. It goes back to 1996. That wonderful year. 1996. We're opening up the Joe Harry window for those of you that remember those two psychologists. Was it Joseph Luff and Harrington Ingben? Did I get? Anyway. Keep going. Anyway. I was working a day job at the Hingham Police Department on Station Street on Thursday. Lincoln Street. I was thinking of the other police station. And I was the janitor. And the chief came to me, Chief Ingo Borowski. I know he's not here, I don't think, is he? He said to me, Bob, I've got a job for you. I want you to go to the town hall and pick up the payroll for the police station. Now, a lot of times I didn't realize that most people got paid by checks back then. I go back to the little envelope with the cash. So I said, sure, I'd go up and pick it up. I went up to the town hall and found the treasurer collector's office, which was all the way at the back. I walked down there, and Eileen, who I didn't know at the time, was this tall blonde. Look what I did to her. I even did the sisters. They're all like that. What happened? Anyway, while watching this beautiful tall blonde helping some elderly woman, I think it was at the time, and how kind she was and how concerned she was for what she wanted to have done. And then she took care of another gentleman. So I went over and asked her for the checks, for the payroll, and left the building thinking, what a wonderful woman she is. She's awesome. And so when I got back to the station and gave the checks to the chief, well, I wanted to give them out. You know how they do it in the military? Smith, Jones. But he wouldn't let me do that. So I asked around a couple of the police officers who that tall blonde was, because I didn't know her name. And a couple of them said to me, "You don't want to know who that lady is, because she would have nothing to do with you." Cigar smoker and, whatever. So at that time I said, well, that's ridiculous. I'm an adult. So I kept going over to the town hall to pick up the checks and volunteering to go when I pretended Jeff Peasy, who was the custodian at the time, he needed help. I had to get over there and help him with something. And finally, it happened just before Christmas. I was walking her to her car, and I wanted to get up the courage to ask her on a date to go and have dinner somewhere or something.
Tell him all this.
Just give you an idea where it's all coming from. And so, so I asked around. I said, why can't anybody tell me? And they said, one of the Simonelli said to me, "You don't want to know because that's Joe McCracken's sister." And I said, "I can take him." Is he still sitting? Anyway, I finally got up the courage to walk her to her car just before Christmas. We got there, and I was panicking, and we were doing small chatting, and then I finally said to myself, what would my hero, General George Patton, do? And I realized that one of his quotes came right to my brain: "When in doubt, attack." So I turned around quickly and I said, "Eileen, would you like to have dinner with me?" And she said, "Yes." It's unbelievable. Oh, it gets better. Oh, you're gonna love this. You are gonna love this. Oh, we got plenty of time. I asked Mary, and Mary said it was Mary Ford. I asked Mary Ford. Sorry, Mary. Anyway, I said we're going to meet after the holiday. Because I figured she wanted to be with her family, and I didn't know them that well. And now that I do, I know how boring they can be. Just kidding. So I said to her, on the day we finally got to go, picked her up at the house on Fort Hill Street, and I said, where would you like to go? And she said, I don't know. I said, any place. Now, you guys know the sweat starts to come in when you say that to a woman. You could have Ritz-Carlton on the brain, But I did have a backup plan. I took a lot of my personal effects that I really, really cherished and put them in the trunk of the car in case we had to have a sidewalk sale to pay for it. So what happened is, she said to me, my sister went to this restaurant in Braintree that was so cool because it had a moose that talked. I said, what the hell is the name of this place? And she said, it's Bugaboo Creek. And I'm saying to myself, well, this is good. They probably have a drive-through. So, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? So, I said, okay, that sounds good. We went over to Bugaboo Creek. I told the hostess that this was our first date, and, they got a kick out of it because they're saying, look at this old son of a gun with the young chick. So, I said, could you put us, where it's not noisy and not too crowded? So she said, all right. And she put us in a nice place, didn't she? Had a nice little seat. And the first thing I did was, after Eileen had her usual drink of amaretto on the rocks, and I introduced her to Italian red wine, and after we had the red wine, then we had appetizers, then we had the main course, then we had dessert, we finished off a bottle of wine, and I said, oh, they do. They want to know about you, lady, because I've talked to a few of them. So, just before we left, I said to the young girl that was waiting on, she was very nice, I said, we've got to have something as a memento of this occasion. And I said, you know, they were wearing these funny rope ties thingies, you know, like cowboys wear. They can't afford regular neckties, so they have these rope things. So I said, would you please let me have a memento from the restaurant, maybe a tie, get you a tie. And so she said, okay. She gave me her tie, and I said, well, I'm happy, but she doesn't have one. So she said, let me go in the back and see if there's an extra one. And lo and behold, there was an extra one. And guess what? Here it is. Now the point of all of this is, there is a point to this. As you've been talking about all the wonderful things that this woman has done, I want you to understand how much I appreciate what you're doing today, because all of this is what I've been seeing every day since this. Here's the best. Thank you.
I'll have this in my office tomorrow. Everybody can see it.
Eileen, it was worth it.
It was.
Before I invite Eileen up for the big unveiling, I see Bill Reardon and Kathy must be here, and they're also former Citizens of the Year. So I just want to say, welcome. I didn't see them earlier. They were our Citizens of the Year when Prince William married Kate. We had Bill and Kate here in Hingham as well. All right, Eileen, it's your turn to come up here, and I'm going to give you some more stuff. So this is our Citizen of the Year, the Hingham Journal, presented to Citizen of the Year Eileen McCracken in honor and with deep appreciation of her devoted and valuable service to the people of Hingham, April 23rd, 2017. We have one more unveiling here. And we always traditionally get at the front page. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
First, I want to apologize for Bob. I was kind of worried about what he was going to say. Hi, everybody. This is great. Thank you all for coming. I just can't believe it. I'm truly overwhelmed. And I'm so happy that you're here with me for this wonderful occasion. Those elected or appointed people, my co-workers that are present here, and my friends, and especially my family. It's so great to have my family with me, to experience this with me. And thank you to the Board of Selectmen.
I think that they know that I love this town. I love this town and I love my job. It's been the best job ever. Nobody, you know, it's like I went to heaven. It's such a great job. And I think it's kind of suited for me too. And where's Liz? Liz. And thank you for Patrick and Joan for the citations. That was a hell of a year that we just had. You poor guys. I had to go through it too. But you really had to be out there in the street and doing everything and talking with people. You must be exhausted. And then you have to do it in a couple more years, or next year. And to the Hingham Journal for having such an award to recognize people like me. It makes me realize how people see me, and I had no idea. And Mary, thanks for the excellent article. That was super. You really did a wonderful job. I appreciate that. And Meg Robbins, I'll get you later. Thank you so much for the extraordinary letter that you wrote. There were other nominations, and those people were just as honorable as I am, and it must have been a difficult choice for the committee. And you all know that I don't do this alone. I have ladies in my office that are so wonderful who also take the extra step and make entering the office a good experience. The office consists of my new person, my assistant Jackie Barad, who I stole from the Treasurer Collector's office. I came from the Treasurer Collector's office and I knew that it would be somebody that was a really good worker when I got Jackie. And two ladies who have been with me for 18 years, Liz McVarish and Ginny Ryan. Ginny Ryan? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's Ginny. There's Ginny Ryan. Liz was my assistant for a few years, and I really don't know what I'd do without her. We have been through a lot together. And Ginny is an outstanding worker who comes in every Friday to help with things that we can't do. Everyone is happy to see her because they know it's Friday. It's not you, Ginny. There's other people that were in my office. I had Lynn Baxter, who's passed away, and I have Pat Wall, who's here, who was one of my assistants, and also Elaine Parker, Nisha O'Neill, Tanya Kennedy, and a couple of short timers I had with Jackie Caulfield and Beth Smith. What a great group, huh? I've always had wonderful people that I've worked with. Then there's the poll workers. Holy cow, what a year we had last year. Last year, because I'm such an overachiever, I wanted to make sure that every minute of the day we had elections during the early voting time. So yes, I was there early in the morning, but so were the poll workers. I saw them more than I ever thought I'd see them. But they were great. They came and they did the job, and they're my stars. They do the job and make it look easy and make me look good. And the town hall is where you find a lot of people like me. All the departments have people, some working long hours, who are dedicated to keep Hingham running well. I hope they accept me as a representative of their work.
Yes.
In reading Meg's letter, it reminded me of when I first worked as a teller in the downtown bank on the corner of Lafayette and South Street. It was one of the few banks in town then. Now we have one on every corner. A week after I started, a woman returned to the bank after being gone for a while. She was stationed in the first window as we came into the door. This woman was such a good worker, and she had lines of people who would wait to see her. I would ask them to come down, but they wanted to see her. I realized why. No matter how busy she was and how difficult the job, she would greet each person with a smile and completed their transaction with ease. All the customers would share stories with her and always left happy. I would look at her and say, I'd like to be like that. For what was written, I guess I've achieved that goal. The woman that is not here so that I can thank her, but there's 4 other people who are also affected by this woman. She was my mom. She, along with my father, were good role models with excellent work ethic. I know they would be proud of me today. So here I am. Yes, here I am. Lucky and happy to be the 31st recipient of the Hingham Journal Citizen of the Year. I thank you all for coming. This was such a special day for me.